we are going to look at the formation of the first perfect indicative verb forms. For the perfect indicatives, there are 4 diagnostics. The telltale one is reduplication. Others include the perfect tense stem is used, there is no connecting vowel in the perfect, and primary personal endings are used. Let's have a quick look at the formation of the perfect active indicative. All perfect forms are based on the perfect tense stem, so that's not listed here. There are 4 diagnostics, 4 clues that you are looking at a perfect active indicative. The first and most obvious is reduplication. That tells you that it's a perfect tense. The next is the tense formative, which is kappa alpha. This marks the perfect active. There is no connecting vowel, so the personal endings, in this case the primary active personal endings, are suffixed directly onto the tense formative. So it's reduplication, kappa alpha, no connecting vowel, primary active endings. This is what it looks like using our familiar verb luo. Our tense stem would be lu. Reduplication becomes le. It is the first letter. In the case of verbs that start with a consonant, it's the first letter of the stem with epsilon. We add the tense formative, kappa alpha, ka, and for the first person singular, there's no ending, so our form would be le luka, I have loosed. Le luka, I have loosed. You can see the reduplication, the tense formative, and there's no personal ending for the first person singular. Le lukas, you have loosed. Reduplication le, tense stem, lu, tense formative, ka, and the second person singular ending, sigma. Le lukas, you singular have loosed. Le luke or le luken, this is the third person singular, he, she or it has loosed. We have the reduplication, the tense stem. The tense formative has changed to ke, just like it does in the aorist, where sa becomes se in the third person singular. There's no personal ending for the 3 singular, but there is an optional movable nu. So it could be le luke or le luken. Notice that the alpha of the tense formative has changed to epsilon. This is characteristic of the perfect active and of the aorist active. Le lukamen, totally regular. We've got reduplication, tense stem lu, tense formative ka, and first person plural ending men. Le lukamen, we have loosed. Le lukate, you plural have loosed. Once again totally regular, reduplication, le, tense stem, lu, tense formative ka, second person plural ending te. Le lukate, you plural have loosed. Le lukan, they have loosed. Reduplication le, tense stem lu, tense formative ka, and the third person plural ending nu. Le lukan, they have loosed. Now let us turn to the perfect middle or passive indicative. We treat them together because they are identical in form. This is the same as what we dealt with in the present tense, where the present middle or passive indicative looks exactly the same. The forms are identical, and context helps us to know whether we are dealing with a middle or a passive usage. So let us look at the perfect middle or passive indicative formation. For the perfect middle passive, there are only 2 diagnostics, the reduplication and the primary passive personal endings, which are suffixed directly to the perfect tense stem. There's no tense formative and no connecting vowel. In a sense, the perfect passive indicative is the simplest of all the tenses to recognize. So this is what it looks like. We have the perfect tense stem, in this case lu. You can see the reduplication, le. No tense formative, also no connecting vowel, and then the primary passive personal ending mai, lelumai. Lelumai, I have been loosed. Notice the reduplication and the personal ending mai. Notice also no connecting vowel, no tense formative. Lelumai, I have been loosed. Lelusai, lelusai, you singular have been loosed. Reduplication and personal ending are evident. This is one of the few tenses that uses the authentic second person singular ending sai. You're familiar with this changing its form normally to a, but notice that in the perfect second person singular we see the actual second person ending sai. Lelusai, you have been loosed. Lelutai, he, she, or it has been loosed. Perfectly regular. Reduplication marks the perfect tense. Middle passive ending suffix directly onto the stem tells you that it's middle or passive. Lelutai, he, she, or it has been loosed. Lelumetha, we have been loosed. Lelumetha, we have been loosed. Reduplication, personal ending suffix directly onto the stem. Lelumetha, we have been loosed. Leluste, you plural have been loosed. Leluste, you plural have been loosed. And finally, leluntai, they have been loosed. The reduplication and the personal ending, in this case ntai, suffix directly onto the tense stem, is the key diagnostic for the perfect middle passive indicative. Leluntai, they have been loosed.